Hi there, it's Jody here with our next segment on props for props, coming to you from Supreme Peace Yoga and Wellness. Today we're going to do a restorative asana called legs up the chair. It's a variation of legs up the wall, but for many of us at home, wall space is at a premium, and most of us have either a folding chair, a dining room chair, even a couch or a fluffy couch or a chair would work well too. So this has the same benefits, or many of the same benefits, as legs up the wall, and can just be a little easier to get into. Doing this pose for 10 to 20 minutes a day, and if you don't have that much, don't worry. But it can be helpful for a number of reasons. The first reason, if you have difficulty falling asleep, this pose helps slow down the heart rate. Our body temperature begins to drop a little bit as we get restful and rested in this. And if you pay close attention, the thoughts begin to slow down as well, settling us in for a nice restful night of sleep. But on the other hand, it's also really good for those times when we feel tired and sluggish and have to make it through the rest of the day. So one of our teachers here, Kathy, she actually used to do this at the end of her lunch hour before moving into the afternoon kind of slump that happens for many of us. And so to do this, what happens is fresh oxygenated blood flows to the brain. It helps us get into our creative and problem-solving part of the brain and helps us just be able to think a little more clearly and be a little more alert. So it both helps us rest and be alert and aware, and who doesn't need both of those things? So to get into this, you'll want a chair, perhaps a blanket. If you have a hard chair, it can just add a level of comfort and support. I also have a little blanket here for underneath my hips. Again, just another added layer of support, especially if you were on carpet, you definitely wouldn't need that, or you might not need it anyways. I also have a strap, which I'm going to show you how to use if you would like. So if you don't have a yoga strap at home, no worries at all. You can use a robe tie, you can use a men's necktie, you can just use anything that you have, belt, scraps of fabric, scarf, any of those work. But if you do have a yoga strap, you're going to thread the end through the two D-rings and then reverse it and bring it over the first and back underneath the second. You're just going to take a moment, make sure that's locked. And then you're going to tighten it up so that the loop is would approximately fit around your hips. So let's go ahead and come into the shape. We'll come and sit down by our chair and lie back. This isn't always the most graceful process, but that's okay. Hopefully nobody's watching. Right? So make sure your back is nice and comfy. Make sure the legs are comfy. And if you can, you want to have the chair pulled up as close to you as you can so the thighs can be mostly up and down. Now, if you do have a necktie or a robe tie or a strap, go ahead and find it. And we're going to slide that around the feet. And bring it just above the knees. We're going to tighten that up so that if the legs separate, they're still about hips width apart. And again, if you were using a belt or something like that, you would just tighten it up. And what this does when you relax, your legs kind of expand open into the support, and you don't have to keep them straight up and down. You don't have to use any muscles. They can just relax into the support. So from here, your hands can rest anywhere on your belly to remind you to breathe. You can tuck those shoulder blades in you and underneath you and let those hands open up to the sides. Or you can even bring them up overhead and get a nice little stretch across the chest, the shoulders here. And again, you can breathe here from anywhere to 5 to perhaps even 20 minutes. Observing as your breath rate begins to slow, your heart rate begins to slow, and maybe even the thoughts in your mind begin to slow down just a little bit. And then when it's time to come out of this, you'll move slowly just as you would if you were coming out of Shavasana. If you have something around the legs, you can begin to slide that off, giving yourself the freedom to move a bit more. From here, we'll roll to our favorite side, catching our head with our arm, and then press down into the earth and lift yourself up slowly. Again, and as always, thank you for inviting me into your home, into your space, and spending time with me. The highest in me honors and sees the highest in you. Namaste.